Let's get it. It's an absolutely gorgeous day here in the Carolinas, even though it's been raining on the most part of the afternoon. And I say it's gorgeous because we were in the midst of a heat wave, as they call it, which really what they're saying is we haven't had rain in a while. But I'm so glad to see it. It has cooled things off quite a bit. And as always, I hope everyone is well and that you are able to get out and enjoy this day like I am. Getting yourself some fresh air, some sunshine, and hopefully some exercise. It looks like I'm gonna be able to get some more sunshine. I went out a little earlier and got a little sun, but it was very overcast, but now it looks like it's coming on now. And I hope you are able to get some sunshine too, getting in that vitamin D. And as always, I do have a great thought I want to share, and it is, Hasatan knows the word too. And this is the second half of James 3. And it says, heavenly versus demonic wisdom. Heavenly versus demonic wisdom. Who is wise and understanding among you? Who is wise and understanding among you? Let him show by good conduct that his works are done in the meekness of wisdom. Let him show by good conduct that his works are done in the meekness of wisdom. But if you have bitter envy and self-seeking in your hearts, do not boast and lie against the truth. James be getting on them. This wisdom does not descend from above, but is earthly, sensual, demonic. For where envy and self-seeking exist, confusion and every evil thing are there. That's worth reading one more time. For where envy and self-seeking exist, confusion and every evil thing are there. But the wisdom that is from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, willing to yield, full of mercy and good fruits, without partiality and without hypocrisy. And see, there goes James talking about that partiality again, which we was just speaking on that in, I think, the first chapter about your cliques. And finally, now the fruit of righteousness is sown in peace by those who make peace. Hasatan knows the word too. And I was gonna try to go ahead and get that 5th chapter in today also, but the Most High told me not to rush. We'll jump on that on Monday. But let's get it. We'll talk about this on our walk. I'll try to go and get it in while we have a break in the weather. Yeah. Hasatan knows the word too. And I meant to put that text into my notes, but it slipped my mind about Hasatan trying Yahusha in the wilderness and his outright failure. And I started to take the time right then to look up that text. But I'm gonna look it up and put it in the description as we always do. But it tells the story of Yahusha being sent out into the wilderness by the Ruach HaKodesh. who I believe was preparing him for this testing. And I say that, but I believe it was the finishing touches on his ministry that he was being prepared for. And the final exam, let's put it that way. The prep for the final exam was on. Because it also says in the text that Yahushua grew in stature and in favor with the Most High and man. And then it says at his immersion that the voice of the Most High said, "This is my son in whom I am well pleased." And I brought them two scripts up because it goes to show that Yahushua wasn't just sitting around twiddling his thumbs for the first 30 years of his life. No, he was preparing for what his mama and them told him about him being the son of the Most High. And not only them, but what he heard from the Most High himself. Let's take a quick water break. Hey, let's get it. We'll try to get in a couple of miles before it rains again. Look like the Most High gave us a nice little break. So we can work with, keep our numbers up today. He knows we don't want to get wet. And it is such a nice difference in the weather. It's so much cooler. But we don't want to get wet cool. Or wet cold. Because I believe that's what it would be. If I got wet now, with this change in the temperature, it would not be a good look. Especially with me already sweating. And see, that's the one thing I miss from this cooler weather, and that's that show no sweat. Appreciate it. love when folks see you coming and go and get out the way, or they hear you. That means they're paying attention to their surroundings. On your left, thank you. Like I was saying, that means they're paying attention to their surroundings. One thing that the man should always be aware of. And right when I was here at this spot, that's when my camera dropped off. We was getting that water break. And I was speaking on where the text was showing that Yahusha had to do some showing and proving before he started his ministry. And the reason I was sharing that is because of the example that was set forth for us to follow. There's something I learned about that text. The Most High don't waste no kind of words or any illustrations within those words. And it's up to us to be good students and pay attention to the Ruach HaKodesh as he leads us into all truth through that text and through them words and through all the holy writings. And as I was saying before, the holy writings were manipulated by them folks for them folks to them folks' demise. See, that reminds me of the story. I'm getting a little off topic, but it's all relevant. It reminds me of the story or the historical facts that the Most High was setting Pharaoh up when he demanded him to let his people go. Because the text says that the Most High hardened Pharaoh's heart. So what he was in fact doing was setting him up for the hard way out. See, Pharaoh could have submitted, saw what he was working against with those plagues, and used some kind of common sense and said, okay, I'm dealing with the God that can manipulate nature. So if he can manipulate nature, that means he had to create it. So I gotta watch out. So, and that's the same thing that's going on now in our Egypt. And in our deliverance from it. The Most High is just setting up them folks. And all of them that had came together as a confederacy to say, we're gonna steal these folks' identity. And blot out the name of Israel forever, that they would never become a people again. Yeah, that's in the text.
But we like to believe folks off face value. When throughout history, their face has always had boo-boo on it. And their hands have always had blood on it. Like the text says, Esau is a man of war. And see, the Most High, in his great favor, grace and mercy towards us, his people, he let us go into bondage. Like he told Abraham we would. Hey. And he led us, matter of fact, he said he led us into slavery. And he scattered us to the four corners of the earth. So we have to be mindful of that when we're dealing with them folks. And what I mean by that is, Hasatan and his imps can know the playbook all they want. Because that's what they actually did. They stole the playbook. But what they don't know is how to run the plays. That's just like an example I heard a young fella using here of late. He was like, you deal with a team that has the baddest running back in history against you, but you're playing against them. And they only have two plays. That sweep right and that sweep left. To where all they could do is run the ball. But the young fella used the example. But when you get a defense that has them big body boys and them quick feet, just as that running back has, then they can shut him down. And see, that's how Hasatan is. He only has two plays. Well, only one play. On your right. How you doing?
All right, man.
Appreciate your service. All he can do is try to manipulate the Most High's game plan. Just like he tried to with Yahusha. See, and it's the same with us. The exact same thing. But he comes to us perpetrating the fraud just like he did with Yahusha. And what I mean by perpetrating the fraud, that is acting like something you ain't. See, them folks act like they in control, but they're not. And see, they try to push that controlling spirit over on you. But you have to say, no, not gonna be able to do it. First of all, there's only one man in control, and that's Yahusha HaMashiach, the one that came, bled and died for our salvation. The one that came and bled and died to give us back our freedom. in our rightful place as his chosen people. See, the thing about it is we never lost the spot in the first place. We just had perpetrators, like the text says, who say they are. But the text also says, but they are not. So you can perpetrate like you're something, but when you're not that, you can dress it up. You can even talk like it. But you're always going to be ish. And what ish means is something like the truth, but just not it. And I like to say it's ishy. And we know what ishy sounds like. But I'm not cussing. Like I said, now it's been revealed that these folks got boo-boo on their face. And what that means is you've been calling a lie, perpetrating a fraud. And see, when I was out there on the streets, that was one of the worst things you can ever do, is to perpetrate like you're something that you're not. Because when you do that, there's always going to be a following who calls you out. They say, yeah, I know that joker. He grew up in my neighborhood. How he saying he from New York? Well, how he saying he from DC? And see, that's how a lot of people were on my side of the country. And it's because they weren't proud of who they were. And I must admit that I was quite excited to come back and tell my stories after we took vacation to Maryland and DC, to where we had people. But see, truth be told, just because I know folks from that area doesn't mean that I in fact am from that area. And I may come back with a accent for spending the summer in the district, or the summer in B-more. But that doesn't mean that I'm in fact from Baltimore or from the district. And see, that's how Hasatan and his children are. And the text says that Yahushua was giving it to them scribes. He said, my Father don't know you, and I don't know you, because you're from your father, who is Hasatan. And he is the father of lies. So, with that being said, we can understand how he could deceive folks. Because every good lie, and notice I say good lie, has an inkling of truth. Matter of fact, most folks can't sell a lie unless there's some truth to it. But then there are some them jokers that can sell a lie when it's all right, no truth in it. You got them caught on a recording on video, and they still saying that ain't me. I didn't say that. But you have a voice recognition specialist or professional saying that's that joker. And see, these type people have been taught to go with the lie until the very end. I had to come back and see this pedal. That's a good steel pedal there. Netco. Yeah, and the threads still look good. And I know from experience, these pedals wear out. I thank the Most High for that. Yeah, Hasatan knows the word too. And see, we have to remember that when we say Hasatan, is that we're talking about him and his folks, his children. See, just like the Most High has children, us folks, Hasatan has children, them folks. Yeah, fam, I'm feeling it today. And I will speak on it because I'm basically done. But I thank the Most High that after a 2-week layoff to get my health back in order, my back, time to rest. That we're back and I feel in good working order. And we're gonna take it to the hive. Always say around this time, stay up and keep pushing forward in the right direction. Shalom.